Good morning. I am here today to introduce my father, Matthew Ottone. My dad is a lawyer, and when I was young, I didn't really know what that meant besides he wore a suit to work. Now that I'm older, I realize he does so much more than that. He wears a suit to work and he charges by the hour. Growing up, my dad lived in Toro Park and later attended UCLA. He went to Pepperdine University for law school and for a moment worked in Los Angeles. While studying, he worked to earn his way through school and to pay his tuition, a work ethic that would carry on into his law career and would teach me the importance of hard work. Eventually, though, he and my mom were called home to Salinas, where he practiced business law before making the switch to his family law before making the switch to his current specialty, business law. Now, he's a partner at the law firm Ottone, Leach, and Ray, where he assists the people of our community in many ways, whether it's reviewing contracts for businesses or helping with estate planning. Sometimes he's even called to make court appearances. He's always emphasized to me the importance of community to his job. He has built trust and respect with his clients and credits these relationships with the success he's seen in business law. But community does not just benefit him in his job, and it's not the only place where community is important to him. Community is important to him in other activities and other aspects of his life, such as being the president of the Palma School Foundation. That describes Matthew Ottone, the attorney. I want to tell you about Matthew Ottone, the dad and husband. For the last 12 years, my dad has gotten up very early each morning to make sure all three of his sons could get to school on time. One day, I asked my dad if he ever wished it could be different, and all he said to me was, "It's just what dads do, and that I would understand when I became a father myself." My dad has always made it important to make sure it is known that all of his sons are loved by him, and he has always gone out of his way to prove it. My family has lived in the same house for my whole life, right here in Salinas, but for a few years, my brothers and I went to school in Carmel. My parents always emphasized education, so on these long car rides to Carmel, sometimes my dad would grab the dictionary from home, and before he let us get to school, before he let us out the car, he would pick a word, tell us how to spell it, and tell us what it meant. Eventually, my brothers got older, and they started attending Palma while I still went to school in Carmel. So every Tuesday morning, my dad, when he drove me to school, would pick me up a hot chocolate on the way to school. And that's just one of many ways that he showed his love for me. Early morning drives weren't the only time outside of his job my dad dedicated to others. At nights, he would coach the Palma mock trial team and has done so for the last 11 years. To me, my dad represents all the values I associate a good man with. Dedication, both to his work and to his family, the importance of hard work, and the value of community. It is with great honor that I introduce my father, Matthew Ottone, our class of 2022 commencement speaker.
Good morning. A few days ago, I was speaking with a colleague. I was telling her that I was going to be giving the commencement speech at Palma, and having had a number of children who had graduated, she said to me, "You know, it's really not that big a deal, Matt. Nobody remembers what the commencement speaker says, unless the speech is really bad. So my goal today is to be completely mediocre for you. Parents, friends, family, Mr. Dahlman, Mr. Sullivan, faculty, staff, and most importantly, class of 2022, Again, good morning. This weekend marks the 40th anniversary of my graduation from Palma Junior High School. I decided to attend public school after that. So if someone had told 14-year-old me that I'd be speaking at the Palma High School graduation commencement ceremony, watching my third son graduate from Palma 40 years later, I would have told them they were out of their minds. But life takes us on unexpected journeys. The class of 2022 knows a little bit about unexpected journeys. Across America this weekend, there are graduation ceremonies ongoing where the commencement speeches are going to have probably a similar theme. They're going to talk about pandemics. They're going to talk about lockdowns and Zoom school, returning to school eventually, kind of, and then the class overcoming challenges and praising them for their resiliency. It's these challenges that form us, and trust me, there will be more challenges in the future for these young men. The question is whether, because of your time at Palma, are you equipped to handle these challenges? And I believe you are. A friend at Palma used to say to me, don't let school get in the way of your education. Our decision to send our sons to Palma was quite easy for my wife and I. It was all about education and not just about school. We wanted our sons to understand the responsibilities of being a young man in today's world. We wanted them to learn discipline and respect, be intellectually challenged, and be in an environment that they can grow in their faith in a genuine way. They found that here. They found a place where service wasn't just a graduation requirement, but a means of training young men to lead an empathetic life. Understanding that when you serve others, you break down the barriers that separate us from one another. I remember very well a few years ago when Father Greg Boyle, a Jesuit priest and the founder of Homeboy Industries in Los Angeles, came to Palma to speak. He in effect said that Palma is not a place you go to, but a place where you go from. You go from there to create a community of kinship so that God might recognize it. You do this to allow God's dream to come true. That there is no us and them, only us. Palma students learned that here. And this commitment to serving others will ground you in your future, will help put the challenges they will face in perspective. Palma students also learn about being part of a community where we value one another, we celebrate our differences and things that make us unique. We learn to get along with people who are different from us. These skills will help you later in life, trust me, when you need to stand in the shoes of another to understand what they're going through. Palma students also learn about leadership. If we can agree on anything, I hope, we can agree that there is a shortage of examples of genuine servant leadership in society today. Qualities such as selflessness, humility, placing the needs of others in front of our own, the ability to persuade others with ideas and not with heated rhetoric or snarky comments on Twitter, the courage to voice your convictions and not what you think the mob wants you to say. These traits are becoming harder and harder to find in young men. But those values are taught here at Palma on a daily basis. You'll be faced with challenges in the future. Again, trust me, where these virtues will help you. And if you'll indulge me for just a brief moment before I conclude. My eldest son, Nick, taught here at Palma as a 7th grader in 2010. That means my family's been here for 12 straight years. I have volunteered, as Andy mentioned, for the school in a variety of capacities. but it pales in comparison to the hundreds and hundreds of hours my wife has volunteered running Palma's social media accounts over the last 4 years. She exemplifies what it means to be part of the Palma family. If you see her today, please thank her. I can't wait to get her back. Through this, we've all developed wonderful friendships with parents and staff, faculty, and I thank them for that as well. It means the world to us. With that, let me give one last piece of advice to the graduates directly. My advice is simple. Never forget who you are. Never forget where you come from. That means remember all the people who have contributed to raising you, who love you, and no matter what, will celebrate you for your successes and will be in your corner to console you when life's challenges become too hard to bear. These people are part of you. Remember your family, your community, your teammates, your teachers, and your friends here at Palma. Take what you've learned here. Trust me, again, it'll help you in the future. Now go out and live an authentic life and be the best version of you. Congratulations, class of 2022. Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Ottone, for your words to us today, and thank you to you and your family for being such loyal friends of Palma, and a personal thank you for coaching the mock trial team with me all those many years. And now, for the conferring of diplomas and the presentation of